Hello and welcome to today's PIF Talk, organized by the Life Coach University. This is one of many coaching sessions that you would find on our website, lifecoachuniversity.com, where you can enjoy different coaching sessions on various different topics. And if you enjoy any of these, all we ask is that you too pay it forward to someone in kind by sharing the video, by getting them a cup of coffee, by calling to check on them, anything at all that pops into your mind that you think you can also pay it forward to someone. Definitely give it a go and we will be happy, and I'm sure you will feel good about it too. My name is Linda. I am a money coach, and today I am talking on budgeting. So I've created this brief session which I have titled "Making a Budget That Works." So for so many of us, budget is really, really important. For some of us, we don't think it's that important, but then we all have a budget, whether we do it consciously or not, or whether we know it or we don't. We have a budget. Our budget is essentially our spending plan. It's what we are telling our money to do for us, and whether it's for us or against, working for us or against us. For some people, the word budget evokes, different feelings. Some people find it really restrictive. Some people also think it's the best thing that ever happened because it gives them that control over their money, wherever you are within this spectrum, if I should call it that. I just want to sort of talk about three things that I feel it's important to actually make sure that whatever your budget is it actually sticks. A budget is not meant to be restrictive at all. Quite the contrary. It's supposed to allow you the freedom to tell your money what to do and make it work for you in a way that suits your overall plan. So that's just one aspect of it. Although it's just one aspect, I believe that it's a very important foundation for everyone to have. And the more reason why it's very good to have a conscious one that you know exactly what's doing and how it fits into your overall lifestyle and plan for your life. So I've picked three things that I think everyone should look at, or I think is worth being mindful of, and want to bring some awareness to that, to allow you, if you already have a budget that you're working with, sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't stick. This is something that you can sort of use to review. If you don't have one at all and you're starting, again, that is one way you could also start. If you get this right, it could actually help you in your bigger financial goal. So the first thing is auditing. Now, before you put anything pen to paper and decide to create a budget. So for some people, for their budget is on a sheet of paper. For them, some people it's on an app. For some people it's on a spreadsheet. The means doesn't matter. The sort of the method doesn't really matter. It's just our individual learning styles and what sticks with us. The most important thing is that you are capturing everything in there. So during this audit period, so the audit period, I would recommend a minimum of a month, 30 days, to do this audit for yourself. Now, when you are auditing, what you want to be doing, so the auditing is essentially you tracking all of your expenses. Now, it seems like it's a lot of work to do when you think about it, but it can be a very beautiful data collection exercise. It would be like you watching yourself and how you spend money and how you decide on what to spend it on and all of that. So I always recommend a minimum of 30 days just watching yourself. As I said, if you already have a budget, it's still fine. Maybe sort of use this as a refresher. Sort of watch yourself for a minimum of 30 days to see when you stay within your budget and when you are sort of outside of your budget, how much you are spending on things, how much, you are holding back in terms of savings and investments, everything at all. And this would include things you spend on a debit card or in cash, in credit cards, anything at all. Every expenditure, everything that you've actually said, look, I'm actually going to pay this, or you've actually bought it or paid for a service or whatever it is. So as I said, it's a beautiful data collection exercise when done properly. Bear in mind, when you do this, you're doing this with no judgment at all. So if whatever you spend on, you're not going to, you're not attaching any judgment to the expenditure or, anything like that. Or it's just you collecting all of that data. And then once you have data, you'll be able to use that to build on going forward. So the audit itself, it's you watching yourself. And I think it can be quite eye-opening, even in not just with your finances, but in terms of your overall sort of personal development, as well as you watch yourself and you see the things you do when you're bored, the things, do you find yourself spending when you're bored? When you're happy, do you associate everything to do with, okay, let's go and celebrate and swipe? Just watch yourself, again, as I said, with no judgment at all during that audit period. Now, you decide on the audit period yourself. As I said, give yourself a minimum 30 days. However, you can stretch it out if you want to go a bit longer. Don't go too long, maybe not more than 3 months though, because you just want to collect data. And with these things, it keeps changing, like, you keep building on it. So you may decide to do this audit again in future. However, to start with, you might start with maybe 30 days, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, but I wouldn't recommend going too far, maybe more than 3 months, maybe not. For some people whose, if your income varies, you might decide to sort of do that 2 to 3 months kind of audit period and see. So just you watch yourself and see where you're spending and what mood you are in when you do those expenditure. If you already have a budget, when you stay within that budget, when you actually go over that budget for that period, for the month or for the week or however you do your budgeting. So just keeping that awareness with no judgment at all. The second thing you do once you've collected all of this data is to categorize. So what I want you to do is to categorize everything, like the raw data. So this one was food, this one was clothing, this one was towards my dependents, this was towards my my charities, my givings, my savings, my investments, everything. Was there any surplus income within that period as well? Maybe you didn't just spend anything, maybe there was a bit of surplus in there as well for yourself. Again, it's that awareness. So I want you to group that. So the second thing, you grouping all of that. Once you've done that grouping, then you decide which ones are actually things that you want to continue to do, to what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep, and whether those amounts, most importantly, what the amounts mean to you. Are you going to continue to keep those amounts? Are you going to stop spending on certain things that are in there? You can have that kind of discussion later. But during that categorization period, all you're doing is just raw data. This was for food. This was for that. This was for that. Just mark everything down. Now, the third is your decision about how you go forward and your decision about the budgets that you make for yourself. At this stage, you've got the data, you've got a bit of awareness on yourself as well. You've got that data in front of you. And I want you to ask yourself a few questions, written them down here. I want you to ask the question, does it fit into my plan for my life? At this rate, can I actually achieve what I want to achieve? Is there something that I need to do? So you might find that, you're actually fine within that budget. You earn enough to cover that and you're happy with the expenditure. You're happy with where your money is going and you don't have any issues with that. Beautiful awareness experience, that's done. But if you are looking to make some changes, then this is where these questions come in. And you ask, do I want to change? Can I even change it? Is it something that can easily be done? How long is that going to take me if I decide to do that? So in doing this, you are looking at the plans you've got for your life and where that fits in, the things that make you happy. So you may be spending on a particular service and you may decide, this is costing me quite a bit, but actually I like what this service does for me, or I like what this item does for me. So I'm going to keep this line item in there because of how it fits into your overall life. So for example, You may be using a service, I don't know, maybe let's call it a cleaning service, and you might think, oh, actually that's quite a lot of money I'm spending there. Now, you may also decide that, you know what, although it's quite a lot, I'm happy to keep it because it frees me up to do certain things. It frees me up to maybe work on my business. It frees me up to be with my children, do whatever, be with my family and do all of that. So it's your decision, you making that. So once you've got that raw data and you know what's coming in and what's going out, that would help you. Now, obviously, if you are looking at that and you're just thinking, every month I'm going into my overdraft, or every month I'm not saving, I'm not putting anything towards retirement, I'm not putting anything towards that, then you can decide and say, I'm prepared to maybe cut this. But before you cut any line item, I just want you to also think about what value, or making more money by creating value. So what value you can actually add to your employer, what value you can also add to the world. If you've got any skills, any other skills that you can try to turn into an increased income. So you could think of increasing your income. When you think about that, think about what value you've got to offer and look within yourself to see. For some people, it might just be maybe staying within what they are doing. However, maybe work a bit more extra hours to get extra money. For some people, it may be taking on more responsibilities and to get more money, maybe a slight change in role. For some people, it might even mean leaving that particular organization and getting another job to actually help them make more money to actually fund the life that they've actually planned after doing this exercise. But I always want you to think of the value that you can provide and actually making more money before you start to actually think of cutting too much. There may be some areas where you might think, you know what, maybe I'm spending more on food, it's not healthy for me anyway. Or maybe I'm spending more on eating out, it doesn't even fit into my health plan for myself anyway. So in that case, it's not really a bad idea for me to start maybe meal prepping and doing all of that. But then it's a decision that you've made and it fits into your bigger life for a healthier, wealthier life for you. But what I don't want you to do is to start doing it from a place of scarcity, from a place of lack and thinking, oh, I can't do this because I don't have that money. Whenever you start to be in that mood and you feel the urge to sort of cut out something, by all means you can cut it. But if it's something that's important to you and it feels like you actually, it's actually like a struggle, or you're actually giving up something, I want you to not do it for a short period of time, but for the long term, I want you to think of how you can actually make more money and get your mind working in that way, rather than staying in that lack for so long and then thinking, oh my God, I can't do this because of that, because I don't have enough money, I can't do it because of that. Rather, I want you to flip it and then have the money, or go out there and make the money, and then say, you know what, I could do this, but I choose not to do it. I want the budget, I want you to have very lot of control over your budget. I want the budget to be something that excites you because you know it fits a life that you have for yourself, your life that you want to live now, and then your future life as well. So those are some of the things that I want you to think about as you do this exercise for yourself. Always look at what you can give. Always look at what value you can put out there to actually help people, get paid for it, and use that to be able to fit that lifestyle. So just to recap, 3 things that would help you make a budget that sticks would be to audit. And we've talked about that. Once you've got that audit done, you categorize it into, with no judgment at all, raw data into the various categories. And then once you see it on pen to paper, you decide whether that fits your life, what you are prepared to cut, what you are prepared to keep, and how you can make more money to actually be able to fund your lifestyle, rather than cutting something that you actually love and would want to continue doing, but you're doing it from that lack place. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you've got something of this brief one. If you've got any questions at all, send them in through to us and we'll be able to answer you. We do have a feature called Ask a Coach where you can put some questions on there. Again, all of that information is on our website. If you've got any questions at all, just send them on there and we'll be able to answer them for you. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for staying with me.